All right, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It's your host with the most. Now, remember, we did a story of a man that is Jamaican born, but he was living in the United States of America for a couple of years, and he was wanted in the United States of America. Not a small wanted. He was on the United States of America's most wanted list. Okay, he even was featured on the show where they feature most wanted criminals. And they're saying that tips from that show led to him being caught. And remember, we talked about how he was caught in Jamaica, and he had been in Jamaica for a couple of years driving a taxi. Now, remember all the stuff that's going on in Jamaica with taxi drivers where girls are getting raped and people are getting robbed and murdered and all this other stuff. Taxi drivers that aren't really taxi drivers. So it is somewhat of a connection to see this person there. Anyways, here is an update to this story. Remember when he got caught in Jamaica? He waived his rights, and he said he did not want to stay in Jamaica for 1 second in a Jamaican prison. And it is probably because he got a look at the inside of one of these facilities and realized, I can't live my life like this. I prefer kill myself, because rats, roaches, and everything else, plus it's very unsanitary. You don't use a toilet, you use a bucket. And you poop in the bucket, and the bucket stays there with your poop and everybody else's poop and pee until someone comes to get it, right? These buckets, by the way, are sometimes used to turn over and sling at other people, so on and so forth. So I'm guessing he thought that life in prison in the US would be much better, more healthier conditions, 3 meals a day, a clean cell, and you have to fight people for your body. But anyway, so the headline now and follow up to the story is that this I'm taking from the vtdigger.org, Burlington. After nearly 2 years on the run, a South Burlington man accused of shooting and killing his longtime partner and the mother of his 2 children pleaded not guilty on Tuesday to a charge of second-degree murder. Now, y'all remember, she was a registered nurse. She worked a lot of hours. He didn't work, no jobs. I'm guessing he was the stay-at-home person. They had 2 children. This is the mother of his kids, and he took her life. Also, he had other charges on him that he was running from as well, which stem from him taking some 14-year-old girls to a hotel room, drugging them, and then raping them, right? And that came out, and those are some of his charges as well. So the hearing was the first time that Leroy Headley, who is now 38 years old, has appeared in court since the death of Anako Annette Lumumba in 2018. At the proceeding, Judge Gregory Rainville ordered that Headley continue to be held without bail until his case can go to trial. No coming out of jail for him, no waiting at home for this to blow over. You are going to remain in confinement. The judge also ordered another $100,000 bail on top of the sexual assault charges against Headley that were pending at the time of the murder. Now, for the simple fact that they're going to be holding him, the judge didn't even have to order that other $100,000 bail for the sexual assault, because even if he gets bail for the sexual assault charges, he is not going to get bail because he's already ordered held until the cases go to trial. Headley faces a minimum. The lowest amount of time he can get is 20 years if he is convicted on the second-degree murder charge alone. The maximum sentence he is looking at right now is life in prison. And I'm guessing for the fact that he ran away to Jamaica, it took them a lot of resources to have him featured on television shows, U.S. Marshal Services, undercover investigations across country borders, and all that. They're going to fling the entire library at him. Not just a book, not a page. He's getting the entire library. Until his arrest, Headley had been on the U.S. Marshal Service list of 15 most wanted fugitives in the United States of America. He was ultimately found in Jamaica after $100,000 reward was issued for his whereabouts. This is the country of his birth, Jamaica. He's a born Jamaican. When authorities said that he was working as a taxi driver under the alias of Owen Ewan when they found him. People in Jamaica, the authorities in Jamaica are saying they have no record of him entering the country, which is Jamaica. So they're guessing that he entered under false name or he came in through some back door. I don't know, maybe Jamaica to Haiti, the gun for drug trade, that route that's always open there somewhere, stowaway, the same way they do human trafficking and girls go out and other people go out and come in. Headley fled Vermont following the shooting in May of 2008. And was last known to be in Albany, New York, when he apparently dropped his car and the gun used in the homicide. Headley had shared a home with Lumumba, who worked as a nurse in the Burlington area, and on Tuesday afternoon, her family was there in the courtroom as he was arraigned on the charges. So the proceeding began and ended very quickly, and the hearing to decide the weight of the evidence was scheduled for another 2 weeks from now, when he will be back in the courtroom again. State Attorney Sarah George said the one upside about this long wait for this day in court is that it's given the state its time to collect all their evidence and to bolster up and strengthen their case against Headley. Long run, short catch, because while he was running, they were preparing an airtight case. We're ready for a trial, she said. The only good thing about having those 2 years is that our case is now strong. It is solid. We have all the evidence that we need at this time. However, George said that it will take time for the defense to do the same because now Headley's lawyers are going to have to go prepare. She said it could be anywhere from 6 months to a year before the case actually heads to trial. So he will be sitting around in a prison in the United States of America somewhere in a jail because he's not in prison yet. When you're convicted, you go to prison. You're being held, you're in a jail. So he'll be sitting around in a jailhouse somewhere, eating good, relaxing, gaining weight, and all these things until his court case goes to trial. This is the follow-up for those of you who want to know, he is no longer in Jamaica. Remember, we did this video 2 weeks ago, and within 2 weeks, he's already in the U.S., swiftly extradited. We obviously hope that it's sooner rather than later for everyone's sake, but it's hard to tell, she said. George said that the time lapse between the events and a subsequent arraignment can be difficult for the family of the victims because there's not a very steady stream of new information that's coming in. So it seems like everything is just dead. She said that that was especially true in this case because the gap has already been 2 years. So to wait a whole another year to go to trial would make it 3 years. And to the family, it would seem like 3 years of sitting around and waiting for justice and nothing is happening. But the South Burlington Police Department in particular, since the night of the incident, has been incredibly devoted to this case and incredibly supportive of the family, George said. South Burlington Police Chief Sean Burke concurred, and he said that his department we are just glad to finally see that this case is coming to court and to have this man in custody. We do this work on behalf of the survivors, Burke said. You saw the faces, you saw their reactions. We're proud of the investigation thus far, and we'll work endlessly and tirelessly with the prosecutor's office to ensure that some sense of justice can be found in this tragedy. Adolphe Lumumba, Anako's brother, the victim's brother, said that he was relieved to finally hear that Headley was arrested. I'm glad it's here, but it's not over yet, he said after the proceedings. He said that with each other's support, the family will get through this tragedy of their sister's death. It's all about family from now on, he said. That's my focus. George said that Lumumba's family has provided exceptional support, something she said will become even more important as the case moves forward to trial. They're incredibly supportive of each other, a very tight-knit family, which is very good thing. I've seen families that haven't necessarily had that when things were going through something like this. It will be crucial for them to maintain that support for each other as we go through the trial phase. As you can tell, this has been a really long time coming for them, and that they have clearly struggled with the next step, with this missing part of him not being accountable for his charges. Well, there you have it. So they have caught the man. They caught him in Jamaica. He was driving a taxi, and he is no longer in Jamaica. He waived his rights and said he wanted to be extradited to the United States of America to face his charges. And the United States of America quickly shackled, handcuffed him, put him on a plane, and he is now in the USA facing his charges. And that's the update and the rundown of the man that was caught in Jamaica from the most wanted list in the US. Alright, it's SouFLoTV. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. I'm out. Peace.